Welcome to From Crisis to Community, Stories of Resilience. In this podcast, you will hear directly from migrants, displaced persons, and refugees about their hopes, fears, and visions for the future. Thank you for being here. Let's dive in.
In our first episode, we heard about fleeing Ukraine and the struggles of crossing borders in search of safety. In this episode, we turn to what comes next, arriving in Germany and navigating the system.
You will hear from displaced migrants about navigating bureaucracy, facing uncertainty, and managing the everyday challenges of starting over in an unfamiliar system.
Some guests have chosen to use aliases to safeguard their privacy, a decision we deeply respect. No one is defined by a single moment. By sharing under an alias, our guests can speak truthfully about their lived experience while reclaiming ownership of their stories.
Our first guest, Zain, was a student in Ukraine who came to Berlin seeking safety. Like many non-Ukrainian third country nationals, he received a lesser protection under the EU Temporary Protection Directive, known as adequate protection. He continued fighting for full rights to temporary protection. His experience shows how a lack of clarity creates uncertainty for non-Ukrainian third country nationals navigating the sui generis system.
I think that in the initial months when we were not allowed to work, the social help definitely helped a lot because other than that, there's no way for you to support yourself. So when we had not yet received our first Fixierungsbescheinigung, and it was still that time between us having registered ourselves at Tegel and waiting for the first appointment at the immigration office. Getting social support at that time was like it helped a lot, and I'm glad that it was there. The system was there. It would have rather been nicer if people were allowed to work sooner, because the social help is not enough to sustain life here in Berlin, especially. But then again, as soon as we received our Fixierungsbescheinigung, people started getting their Fixierungsbescheinigung. It became easier to find work, full-time work. And apart from the financial help, there's any other social system from the government that I really appreciate. Getting health insurance helps a lot. So yeah, good for Germany on giving people good healthcare.
What challenges did you face when you were navigating the legal and administrative processes as a person who was displaced from Ukraine?
I think, honestly, the biggest challenge was and has still been my legal status, on which residency do I really fall. And so this has been, like, when I moved here, I just wanted to figure out how to move from point A to point B, and my final goal being to arrive at a proper residency status as soon as possible. And when I realized that there is an avenue to get from just a person who left Ukraine to getting the paragraph 24, I saw a way. But then I think the biggest difficulty was how do I get from this point to actually getting paragraph 24? Because to me, it always made sense that everyone who left Ukraine should have received paragraph 24, because we all, in a way, lost the lives that we were building in Ukraine. And why would we not get this? Why would we not given a chance to restart our lives here? Why would we not given a chance to study again? So in my head, in the community that I surrounded myself with, we were always convinced that we will get paragraph 24. I think so, like navigating my way through somehow convincing the immigration authorities that I should get the paragraph 24 was a big, challenge, and it still has been, unfortunately.
So you still have not received any, what should I phrase it, like any legal stay in Germany according to what they were offering citizens or other people who fled Ukraine?
So Yeah, I did not get paragraph 34. And I don't know how to describe the early months of this, of the war, because in the early months, there was so much chaos, not just amongst people who came to Germany from Ukraine, but also within the German bureaucratic system. There was so much chaos. As far as I understand, there was no proper following of guidelines which were laid down. I know so many people who did not have a Ukrainian passport, but they still got the paragraph 24, the temporary protection residence permit. And it just goes on to show that is the law is not concrete and the law can be interpreted in different ways, then it's hard for people to navigate their way here.
Our second guest, Christina, came to Germany after more than a decade in Ukraine. She received temporary protection, but her experience demonstrates how paperwork and bureaucracy still shaped the lives of displaced migrants.
I know this is something that is seen with some kind of confrontation, but I believe I am a migrant. I had to migrate from a place to another for some reason. So I do identify as a migrant. And was I seeking refuge in Berlin? Yes, I was seeking refuge in Berlin because I was moving from a war, from the place I was to a new place. So I recognized myself as a migrant. I migrated, and I am seeking refuge here for the meantime. Yeah.
As a migrant in Berlin, what challenges have you faced in navigating the legal system, the administratives, all the offices?
Yeah, this brings some, I think, trauma to anybody you ask. Yeah, I think foreigners in general, just to not going through the administrative structure. Because indeed, as much as they say, a friend of mine told me, that's welcome to Germany. That's the thing. She actually told me, I was like, oh, I still have some papers to do, whatever. And she was like, oh, yeah, welcome to Germany. Because indeed, the legal procedure is enormous. The paperwork, you're going to have that if you did not know how to go learn. Yeah. And yes, there is quite a lot of bureaucracy of some things that you would expect that you've submitted that would be asked for again or something. So navigating it is like being in school and having an A1, like you've been ranked as to what level you can navigate. If you have an E, you are not going to live in Germany. Sorry. Yeah, I am really thankful to several organizations. In fact, just at arriving in 2022, I remember there were organizations already on the border and welcoming people from Ukraine. So they had the basic information as to what to do. And I would tell you, in that point in time, there were a lot of Telegram groups. Yeah, that you just go and check, okay, what is happening? That was the news. I was checking, okay, what is happening in this country? What is happening in this country? That was it for us, because there were people that would bind together and just okay, I found this information. I hope it's helpful to you. So the community itself, a lot of organizations like Kuzbo, BIPOC Ukraine, and several others that were open to really help us at the beginning, and I'm really grateful to them.
What role have legal frameworks such as social services played in supporting you as a migrant?
This is a very funny question, because I was asking earlier. In support, I'm still thankful to the German government. As much as we say that migration should be a free cost of thing for someone to be able to move from one place to another. There should be no border or no nation. However, there is a nation in Germany, and there are structures that are here also to support. And at the beginning, I would say it was quite difficult for a lot of people to access those structures that have been set in place to actually support. And looking at the social amt or the social office or the district office in several districts here, they were not really as helpful at the beginning. And after some time, after trying to be helpful, they were sort of like creating extra challenges or hurdles that people had to scale over before getting the same kind of amenities that were awarded them, like more like a prize as compared to somebody actually needing it and coming from a place of war, And also, I would say job center is called a job center. They should really rethink that sincerely in looking for jobs for people, and maybe that's why the turnover is not that much as they say there is we call it a need for well-educated and experienced employees or in Germany, but they are not turning over the people that are in job center to actually getting jobs in these places. Why is it that difficult? Maybe it's because you're not really reading through people's CV. You're not really listening to what people are telling you. And that should be something that they should look into one more time, because maybe it's not really working.
Our third guest, Joseph, first arrived in Bavaria. His description highlights the different receptions and support structures even within one EU member state. He later moved to Munich and then to Berlin, where he found a stronger network of civil society organizations and advocates who helped guide him through the bureaucracy.
At the beginning, lots of problems happened with me. There were a difference between Ukrainian and not Ukrainian people. So Ukrainian people, they have right to get in paragraph 24 and studying and working, and like they have all rights, But as foreigner, we don't have any rights. They didn't allow not to work, nothing. And also for Ukraine, they give them a house and home, And for us, they give us container far away from the city, where nobody there. Metal container. It's very, very, very bad situation there. Like very cold in the winter, and the summer was very hot, and also a lot of mosquito there, very far out from the city. It did us actually very, very bad. The container was actually not safe because the door was with a glass with not metal. And what I can say also, like many there are, they taking drugs on far away from the city. Like if I want to go to buy something, like it's very, very far away from the city. Like I feel like not like a human being, Otherwise, when I came there, I started like to helping Ukrainian people, helping people, but they didn't care about like you are not Ukrainian, you have to leave. And when I asked for protection, they give me a deportation. And that was a shock. Despite I get like an opportunity to make practice in the hospital, but they rejected and said, you have to leave. You are not Ukrainian.
How did you move from being told you're being deported to where you are right now?
I try to connect many organizations. The first was for me very, very difficult because I didn't found like people who can help me in Munich. So I started to look on internet with some friends and actually we reached Cusco and people, Ukraine. And actually I remember that I went to International Women Space and then I connected the Cusco, and actually Cusco helped me a lot. And then I connected to Vicky, and Vicky actually was the right person that I reached. She helped me, and she started to understand the situation, and I called her. I want to come in to Berlin to get my chance because don't know what to do. No one can help me in Munich. She said, okay, we can try to help you. And actually was the right person that standing by me from the beginning to the end. The process in Germany is very complicated. Thank you so much and to the team of Kursbook.
Our final guest, Moses, arrived in Berlin while still completing his medical diploma. His experience highlights how displaced people often had to rely on hosts, advocacy groups, and governmental financial support just to begin finding their footing.
I wasn't prepared for the fact that my stay in Germany actually translated into having so many paper trails, like the finance amt, job center, immigration, Landesamt für Gesundheit und Sozial. Like, bro, it's like without papers you can't survive in Berlin. I mean, you can literally come from I don't know which country. You have nothing. All of a sudden you will just start developing papers in Germany. I don't know, it's automatic. It's like they tell you, oh, you're new to Germany. Yeah, oh, okay, welcome into Deutschland. Okay, here, take some papers. These are you. Next time, without these ones, you can't get anything. I was like, what? And now we have to get also a B1, A2. You see, everything is papers. I mean, my country is also papers, but they're not that crazy with it. And so the only way I overcame it was, when you're dealing with so many papers, you start developing this kind of focus. Started focusing on the papers. And by doing that, that's how I was able to overcome it.
What kind of support have you received from friends, family, communities, or the government agencies?
But job center was an amazing surprise. When you come, the culture, there's always going to be a culture shock because you don't expect it. And the other thing was, okay, now you're broke. And now you have to navigate through the language, and the process also getting jobs is also different in Berlin. Sometimes you might get it through connection. Sometimes you just have to do the old-fashioned way, go online and start searching. And now when you go online, now you do all these countless interviews because majority of the companies, they want people who speak German, not English. So, also the choices are not that many. The good thing was now there was this kind of advocacy groups now, for example, like Kosovo and Tabman. And there's all these advocacy groups that also now, when people came, one of the things they did first was organize this kind of German process for them for free. And also they also organized they created this kind of network whereby hosts can actually contact these organizations to let them know if they are able to host refugees that just came in. So, all this effort that was interconnected was now one of the things that actually helped us now, at least, get a foothold in Berlin.
For many displaced persons arriving in Berlin, Berlin became a destination by chance. Join us next time as we continue sharing the voices and stories of migrants building their new lives here.
Thank you for listening and making space for our voices. Your engagement helps ensure these experiences are not overlooked. From Crisis to Community, new episode every Tuesday in November 2025.
Thank you for listening. Don't forget to like, share, and comment if you'd like to hear more.
The Communities First and KUSPU projects are implemented within the framework of the UN Decade for People of African Descent.
Hi, this is Katarina. Are you a third country national who fled the Russian invasion of Ukraine in 2022? We'd love to hear from you on Telegram @CUSBU or tag us on Instagram cusbu.germany. If you want to help us continue this work, documenting, connecting and supporting migrant communities, please visit www.kuspu.de/support-us. Even small contributions make a big difference. Thank you.